got the live feed. Yeah. Oh, yeah, everybody. Happy Friday, everybody. Are we excited to be here? Are we all excited to be here?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, bro.
Pretty excited?
Over the moon.
Over the moon. I like it. Hey, guys, well, you are tuning in to This Pink Cloud. It is Season 2, Episode 29.
29.
It seems like only last week when it was Episode 28.
Yeah.
I guess it was.
What a time to be alive a week ago.
It really was. It really was. Actually, for you, probably. Yeah.
Well,
we're going to get into that. Real quick, I am DJ Kelly Reverb. With me today, we have Dylan Kingston from Skate Straight and E-Dub Skate Co. So we'll get that shout out there.
Yeah, plug it in.
Yeah. And then we have Mr. Fire himself, Jeffrey Rigdon. And Jeff and I know each other from way back in the day. He actually knew me as Kelly Reverb.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so it was like I didn't even have to do that soft intro where I was like, yeah, you know, I used to DJ kind of thing. He was like, oh my God, dude, that's Kelly Reverb.
And now I'm in the fucking studio with Kelly Reverb.
Sick.
I mean, I always thought that I would be in a studio with you, dude, for real.
Right.
But I just didn't know it would be like this kind of
We
studio.
thought we'd be making beats or something like that. But I actually met you at Number One Offender, or that's when our paths first crossed where I was aware of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, I was just a fanboy in the crowd watching you play, man.
Right.
You know, and then whenever you said that you were a DJ, I'm like, what's your name? And you were like, Kelly Reverb. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, dude,
shit,
do y'all
you
know
are.
who this fucking guy is? And everybody's like, no, I don't.
I can't remember, dude.
This is fucking Kelly Reverb.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. My cousin Hunter Vaughn,
Yeah.
I talked to him and he was like, dude, how the hell do you know Kelly? And I was like, I don't know. We go to the same Skate Straight meetings.
Right.
And I've been on his podcast and he's like, what the fuck, man? You know, because he's been a DJ in Dallas forever too.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
The name
Shout out Hunter.
sounds
Yeah.
familiar. I don't know who he is.
Hunter
but,
Vaughn,
yeah.
Hunter X Hunter, and that was it, something like that.
Did you know who Kelly Reverb was?
No,
No,
no.
he had no idea. He was just attracted to me just because I'm the good person that I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a really good person, bro.
Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Hold on, let me get a tissue. Hey, so anyway, real quick, I want to get the sponsors out of the way. It would be summersky.us right above my head. Summersky.us 888-857-8857. It's a place where I went to rehab. It is the gateway to addiction recovery is what they're called. But they're out in Stephenville, Texas. They rule, and they sponsor the show, so I love it. Also, guys, create the street buzz for the shirts. Love the shirts. We got them pulled up here. Yeah, we've got the standard pink cloud. We've got the chair, the I went to rehab, and all I got was my life back. And then the rainbow one, which everybody loves. And Kurt from Skate Street designed all those. If you go to djkellyreverb.com and then /shop, you can find those shirts.
Yes.
And if you like the show and want to support, please do so. Also, we are on YouTube. So if you can't catch us live on the Facebook channel, we're on YouTube. So if you just go to thispinkcloud.com, it'll hey, what's going on, dude? What are you doing? Yeah, is it all good?
Technical stuff.
Yeah, but anyway, so if you go to thispinkcloud.com, it'll take you to the YouTube channel, and there's actually a link to buy shirts and all that stuff. If you're on a desktop, if you're on a phone like everybody else is, then it's a little trickier. But
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt.
Yes.
Kelly, what is a desktop?
it is this right here. It's this laptop, You know what I'm saying. You know
Kids,
what I'm
man.
saying. Hey, so, but I guess, it's been a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks since you've been on, 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's been, I think, maybe a month. Yeah.
Well, so and last time you were at like the for the day counting society out there. You were at 18 months, right?
Yes.
And we had a little slip up. Would we call it, or would we call it like a relapse, or what do you want to?
I mean, I don't know, man. Like cut and dry. Like I'm an addict. Like I use, every day you wake up and you hear the birds tweeting. Like it's abnormal for someone like me that uses like I do to stay clean for 18 months, right? Like that's the abnormal thing. And so there were some circumstances in my life, right, that I don't think that I was fully prepared to happen. And so yeah, man. Before I knew it, I decided to use on a Sunday. I made that decision, and it carried over into the week, all coming to a head on Friday. I took a substance, not my drug of choice, but something similar, and the next thing I knew, I'm waking up in an ambulance, they're telling me I had to be Narcaned.
Wow.
And so that's what my addiction looks like, right? Like some people, their addiction doesn't look like that. It doesn't take them out like that, like real quick. They can go for long runs, whatever. They can go and enjoy it or whatever.
They can successfully use
for
a while,
And mine, in less than a week, I almost died, right? Like literally, like they said when they found me, I was purple, I wasn't breathing, they had to Narcan me, I had to go to the hospital, all of those things, right? And like, of course, like, I have some guilt and some shame and some like remorse and like all of the emotions are flooding through, but like the main thing is like it happened. It's what addicts do, and I've reconnected, man. So I'm going to an IOP class.
Somebody also said like maybe like reestablish is the word, right?
Yeah, I mean I would but the only reason I don't like saying reestablish is because, I mean, obviously, yes, I have a new clean date, but just because I got high doesn't mean that it negates the 2 years or almost 2 years of like good shit that I was doing, right?
Right.
Like, man, I'm a fucking drug addict.
Right.
I'm talking like shooting dope with toilet water, like piece of shit human being. And for 18 months, I held it together to where I have a savings account, an apartment, a fiance, a great job, insurance. Like, that's abnormal. Right? Like and so the fact that like I used for a week, you know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is, man. That's what I do.
I agree.
Like it's ingrained in my brain to where any sort of trauma or emotional overwhelmingness or anything like that, like that's what I do. That's what I know to do.
Right. And that's what I want to point out is that it's just like you're not, once you get sober, you're not just sober, dude. It's work.
Yeah.
And you have, it works if you work it, that kind of thing. But it's true, and if you happen to come across like certain things that happen in your life that are, maybe, tough to deal with, hey, emergency break glass, go to what you were trained, or you trained yourself to do. So I get it.
So coming back from that, like I had a huge internal battle with myself. Like, do I need to go to a residential treatment? Do I need to go and do like, what do I need to do, right? And so I did some soul searching. I hate saying that, but I did some, I did some internalization.
Because you're soulless?
Yeah.
No,
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems cliche, but I decided that like when I went to treatment, man, like when I went to treatment to get clean, I didn't have a foundation, right? Like I had nothing to my name except the clothes on my back. I was living on grandma's couch, stealing money to get drugs, all that stuff. Like that's not the case now. I know what I need to do. I know what it takes to stay clean and sober, but like I had to make a heavy recommitment, right? And like that's what it's about, man. Like sometimes you get distracted. It doesn't always end in a relapse, but you get disconnected from your recovery, right? But just because I used a little bit doesn't mean that I exited recovery.
Right.
I'm still I'm still recovering, and I'm gonna be recovering for the rest of my life.
Sure.
Right. Somebody kind of told me the other day, like, the reason why relapse has such a stigma on it because it's drugs and alcohol. diabetics relapse all the time. There's 100% relapse rate with diabetics. That no one sticks to their diet, right? But you don't hear people shaming them, and there's not a stigma involved with it. So I'm here to promote the fact that, like, people have to understand that as addicts we use, and it's a miracle when we don't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, like I said before the show, as long as you never quit quitting,
Right.
then you're on the right path, man. And so what I'm doing now is I'm hitting a meeting every day, whether it be a Skate Straight meeting or an NA meeting. I'm going to an IOP class. I got a therapist, you know. I'm working on some mindfulness techniques so that I can recognize when my brain goes into that, like, that autopilot mode, right? That we've ingrained in ourselves for years, to where any emotions we feel, good, bad, indifferent, we use. I'm trying to catch that before it happens and kind of like walk myself off that edge. So I'm doing these things. I'm I'm getting the Vivitrol shot. So
Sure.
what the Vivitrol shot is it's kind of like a MAT program, but it doesn't have the buprenorphine in it. It's just naltrexone, and you get a shot, and for 30 days, it shuts off your receptors. It cuts your cravings, things like that. I'm doing those things to give myself some distance from it so that I can get my footing again and keep on keeping on. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because whether or not my actions show it, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
You know what I'm-
I mean, I get it, and I think this is very courageous that you're openly sharing it, because I think it takes a lot of cojones,
Yeah.
you know, to get up here and say, hey, man, I effed up, and you know, and you know, that whole honesty thing is paramount in recovery, because you could have probably, you know, a lot of people wouldn't have known. But, you know, yeah, I mean, I think this is a powerful message that you're bringing today, because it's like, you know, you're never cured.
Ever.
You know, ever.
You know, there's a lot of people that do that just, you know, they relapse, they don't say shit.
And they
Yeah.
keep
You
going
And
to
they
meetings.
keep going to meetings and showing up, you
Right.
know, and you can tell, man, but they never come out and just straight admit it. They're saying, you know, my clean day is still last year or whatnot.
Dude, look,
you know,
check
and
that.
fucking-
Check this out. So like I said, I used for like a week, and
Right.
like this job that I have, my job now, I have never missed a day. I've been, and this is, I'm not trying to brag on myself. I'm just putting it in perspective of like when I'm in recovery and doing the right thing, this is how I behave. And I've never missed a day. I work 30 plus hours of overtime every week. I'm there 30 minutes early. I'm there 30 minutes late. You know what I'm saying? And in that small week of time that I was using, I missed 2 days of work and was late every single day.
Right.
And everybody at my work knew.
Right.
Every single person. I
Sure.
am not the type of person that when I start using, I can hide it, right?
Right.
There's a look, the instant I take any sort of chemical substance, whatever, there's the look that comes upon my face that's like, you can walk into a room and it's like you can look at me and be like, that dude's fucked off.
Right.
You know, as much as I'd like to believe
Right.
that no one knew at my job,
Right.
coming back this last week, previous to this week, everyone was like, bro, are you okay? Like,
Yeah,
what were you
they're,
going
like,
through last
worried
week?
About. Well, speaking of that, well, we might as well bring a little levity to the show. Hey, Brett, you got that picture?
That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, God.
That I used, like,
You can tell in this
I used
picture.
this on the advert, but there's
Yes.
there is a fucked off Dylan, right?
Yes.
Is that like 17?
In the wild.
wild,
Crikey,
dude.
there's a fucked off Dylan. Be careful, don't get too close. He'll search your pockets.
Right.
But yeah, no, man.
That was like 17, right?
Yeah, a little backstory on that. That was like my club days, I guess you
Yeah.
could say. I could have probably ran into you back then.
Sure.
But I think, well, I know this is around the time my parents had just divorced. My mom was living with a boyfriend in Indianapolis. My little brother had moved in with my dad, and I had a house all to myself.
Oh.
And so this picture was taken
Yes.
probably more towards the beginning of the week of a week-long Thanksgiving party.
Mm-hmm.
We had Thanksgiving break at school, and this was taken probably closer to the beginning of the week because I looked a lot worse than that at the end of the week.
Right. You look like you're really processing some stuff, dude. And doing
I'm probably trying to just
What?
make sure that I don't die, and I
Yeah.
just keep my cool.
Right. I
What,
got
what are you grabbing for right there, bud?
The stars.
Probably
Or somebody had a beer.
a beer or a bag of something,
Right.
or there might. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Honestly, but yeah, that was early on in my addiction.
Yeah.
And so
Sorry, I had to put you on blast.
it's okay.
But, you know.
It's all good. Yeah. And
but
so,
it's reality, you know. It's
It
where
is.
it's part of your history and where you can learn from and move forward.
And honestly, if we're being honest, I'm glad that that's the picture you found, because there's a lot worse ones out there. A lot worse. I mean, yeah, there's some.
Well, I had to do it because I was like, oh, that's a perfect spot for the This Pink Cloud logo. So,
Yeah.
Dude, when you told me that you were gonna find a picture of me, I was like, "Oh shit!"
I was trying to find something embarrassing, but there was it was such a stud muffin picture of you that I just went with it. But hey, real quick, I wanted to also say that you dudes are both Oxford House alumni. Which, if people out there don't know what that is, that's a sober living house that it's self-run, self-governed, right? So let's talk about that, and maybe, somebody out there that can't do it on them, by themselves, and is not quite cutting it, maybe talk about a little Oxford House experience.
So this is part of my story. It's a big part of my story.
Well, do you want to start your story, or because I don't want to just jump in the middle?
Yeah, sure.
Why don't we? Okay, Jeff Rigdon. I hear you have a story.
I have a story for you.
And go.
All right. So, I was raised in East Dallas. Had a pretty good childhood.
What was your address?
I'm just kidding. So, no, I had a pretty good family, dude. Growing up, I was the only child. My mom and dad, they were pretty sweet to me. I was the only child, so I was pretty much taken care of, dude, They got divorced when I was 6, and I just remember them fighting all the time. I don't really, all I remember is fighting between them, but I got everything I needed. My dad ended up moving away, and I would see him periodically, but not that much. So my mom pretty much raised me, by herself. She was the Boy Scout leader. She was the soccer coach. She was there. She was like my best friend, dude. She was my rock.
Right.
I went to private schools too, so I was pretty sheltered.
Sure.
I was a naive kid too. I didn't really know about drugs. I remember the DARE. I remember all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
you were kind of in my era, like the Nancy Reagan.
I remember wearing.
Just say no.
I remember wearing the red ribbon for like a whole week straight in school and stuff. But I didn't really know what it was about.
Sure.
So in 7th grade, I got kicked out of the private school that I went to, St. Bernard's of Clairvaux, right?
Okay. Shout out.
Yeah, there's a shout out, yeah. I got kicked out of there.
Still mad at you?
Right.
Yeah, they hate me. Not allowed on their property. So then I started going to public school into Gaston, and that was when I was first introduced to like any kind of weed. Introduced. I said introduced.
Yeah. Introduced.
Introduced.
Ooh, yeah.
Little play on words
Yeah,
there.
right. A little Freudian, little Freudian slip.
Yeah. Well, I went there, and that was where I first found out about weed and any kind of drugs. And I was still like, the cool kids were doing it, so I'll go ahead and try it. And I remember we went on the railroad tracks behind the school, and these dudes had like a joint rolled up. It was all like loose as fuck, you know what I mean? And I smoked it with them, and they were like, inhale it. And I thought that I was inhaling it, you know what I mean?
Right.
I am inhaling, Yeah. I didn't know that you had to, like that, and then I did that, and that led to
It made me feel funny.
It did make me feel funny, yeah.
Right.
And I didn't have like too good experiences with it at first,
Sure.
Like I totally freaked.
Well,
the fuck out.
how old were you?
I was like 13.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on when you're 13, and then to add that on top of it, dude. Yeah.
I didn't have good experiences my first time with a lot of drugs, like acid and stuff like that. That was the next step for me, was acid.
Right.
Diving right in.
No, it was. But I didn't do that till I was a freshman in high school, went to Bryan Adams. I had a really bad experience. Like my friends had to bring me home, and and told my mom that I was tripping on acid and shit.
Right.
And I remember I was laying there in bed, and I thought that I had my punishment for taking acid was that I had to live my whole life over again, right? And so I'm laying in bed, and my mom's like that, and I thought I was a fucking baby. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was a fucking baby. It was the worst shit ever, dude. I couldn't move. I'm just like, I got or whatever.
Right.
It was the worst shit ever. And the crazy part about it was that I still went and did more of it, even though I just had this worst fucking experience of my fucking life.
Sure.
And I still went and did more, and that's when I got into the whole rave scene and the DJ Kelly Reverb on the big flyers, going to those things. And,
Right.
you know, the first time I ever saw you was at a foam party. You know,
Yeah.
and you don't remember it probably.
Afterlife or what?
No, it was before the Afterlife days.
Right.
It was at a place called SOA.
Right.
Clue.
It was SOA
Yeah.
for sheets of acid, right?
Well, so they say.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I thought
Right.
it was. My
Yeah.
whole life, that's what I thought it was.
Right.
But yeah, no, I was just.
That was a club,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah. Now it's called Sandog. It's like right there off
Yeah.
Exposition.
Oh, okay.
But like, I was totally intrigued, dude. It's nothing but like, you know, girls walking around with, you know, white shirts on and
Right.
foam all over them and shit. You know?
Right, yeah.
It was super awesome, and you know, I pretty much idolized all the DJs, dude. I really did. Like you in particular, and like Squirt. I don't know if you know Squirt.
I do remember him, which he is since
passed away.
passed.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
passed,
from an overdose.
Yeah.
Oh, I know Squirt.
Yeah.
Chris
Aaron.
Crosley. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really good friends. I actually know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Good dude.
yeah, I idolized those guys, man. Listen to y'all's mixtapes, dude, over and over and over again. And that's whenever, like, my decline in school started happening. You know what I mean? I started just not going to fucking school anymore, you know? And I ended up dropping out. I got my GED, though, so, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're legit.
I'm legit. Yeah, I know stuff.
Right.
I went to public school. I fucking know stuff.
Yeah, I do.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good shit. Another hand fist bump. So yeah, from there, you know, where were we at again?
Yeah, you had gotten your GED.
Yeah, I got my GED.
You were
Right.
Yeah, you had been going to raves and.
All
yeah.
right. So yeah, so I had started dabbling in. It was called Crank back then, right? A buddy of mine brought some over, and I remember like the first
Now
time I
is
did
Crank like Crystal Method?
It's like,
what
yeah,
we know.
it
is-
was like the bathtub shit back in the 90s,
Okay.
you know.
Right.
I started doing that, and like I remember the first time I did it, I thought that I had smoked crack. I didn't know like the difference between crank and crack. You know what I mean?
I
I'm
still
like-
don't.
yeah. So.
When I was baking soda, Kelly.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah. He knows shit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
So,
I'm sure.
so you know, started doing that. You know, I quit. And I ended up getting the opportunity to go to school out in Florida, and I went to Full Sail. It's
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
sick.
I know Full Sail.
back then it was called Full Sail Real World Education. Right?
Okay.
I went out there and went to school for audio engineering, 2002. And at that point, I just turned 21.
Yeah, and there's no scene going on out in Florida.
No, none at all.
Yeah,
None at all,
like-
bro. And
yeah.
a funny story, dude. I met this guy named Ryan Phillips, right? And I had one of your records, dude. And he was like, "Dude, you know fucking Kelly Reverb, dude? You're from Dallas."
I saw him at a foam party, dude. He had an aura around him, dude.
That's exactly what I said. But no, he like totally freaked out about you, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. You know, that's when I started drinking because I turned 21, right? You know?
Yeah, of course.
I wasn't doing any other.
Hold on, you let 21 dictate the
Well,
time
dude,
when
you know,
started drinking?
I could fucking buy it.
Yeah.
And it was
Okay,
like
yeah.
I could
It was
just go buy
it was easily accessible.
Right.
Right.
You know, no, I had drank before that,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but yeah.
Now it was an everyday occurrence because all you had to do was walk to the gas station.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I lived right across the street from one too, so
There you go.
perfect.
It's
you know.
funny how they make alcohol so convenient.
right?
Yeah.
At convenience stores.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you know, from there, you know, I wasn't doing any other like hard drugs at that point. I quit doing like everything when I went to school, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my life straight. I'm just gonna drink and I'm just gonna smoke weed.
Right.
Take a Xanax bar every once in a while, you know.
Right.
I
Be
ended
normal.
up, yeah. Well, I ended up missing like 2 months of school for MIDI. That was a MIDI class, musical instrument digital interface. I missed 2 months. I had to retake those classes, so they charged me for those classes, right? So I didn't get my degree when I finished.
Okay.
They charged me all this money, and then, dude, I thought that I ended up leaving school at the end. I left from Florida. I went to Canada and stayed in Canada for about 6 months in Montreal.
Cool.
Yeah,
Hold
no.
on, not,
Yeah.
So you go from like Orlando, right?
Yeah.
You were in Orlando at Full Sail, and then you just go, okay, I'm going to Canada.
Well, dude, I got an opportunity to go on tour with this
Okay.
guy, and really, it wasn't a tour. We were just playing like open mic shows and shit, you know.
Uh-huh.
And this is before like you know MySpace and Facebook and all that stuff. man.
Right.
So you know there was no like promotion. We were selling CDs on the side of the corner, dude.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and we-
Still a cool experience,
No,
though,
it was,
probably.
it was real cool.
Right.
We stayed in St. George de Beauce for like 3 months, and then we went to Montreal for about 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
All right.
And then at the end of the tour, I ended up coming back home. I just wasn't feeling it. And I wish I would have stayed because they ended up going to Japan afterwards.
Right.
You know, but I wanted to come home.
Okay.
I came home, and that was probably the worst mistake I ever fucking made.
Okay.
You know, that's whenever I started doing meth.
Okay.
I started off with meth, you know, and ruined a couple girls' lives.
Yeah.
You know, doing that. And then, you know, I started, you know, dabbling in a little crime, breaking into houses and breaking into cars and shit, you know, just to feed. I was never like a criminal mastermind. I was a fucking dumb fuck that was just doing shit.
You know, in your defense, most, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are really smart ones out there, but most of them are like, okay, here's my plan. I'm going to go to Target. I'm going to get a basket and I'm going to steal a bunch of DVDs and just roll out the door and you be there waiting for me. You know,
Well,
it's like that kind of stuff. So it's not like, you know.
No,
I think it's
not a lot of
difficult to be a
thinking,
criminal
yeah.
mastermind when it's drug fueled.
Yeah,
right.
for
You know?
sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like your head is
Yeah.
in one direction, and you're
Right.
just everything else is side sounds.
Right. You see all that change in that fountain, dude? The security guard leaves at 12 o'clock. I'm going to jump in and just start
Just hold the
scooping
bag.
up
I'm
shit.
getting it.
Yeah, I don't think George Clooney was like, you know, doing shots of heroin in the bathroom when in Ocean's 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, started doing that, and then I got caught breaking into a house, man.
Okay.
You know,
Little B&E.
yeah. Well,
Bacon
my
and
dumbass,
eggs.
I went back to the house in a stolen truck, mind you.
Oh,
I went
okay.
back to the fucking house, and the cops were there. And
Right.
They looked at me. They just came out, ran after me, drove after me, and I fucking, you know, ducked out in like to the side of a road into an alley. I got out of the car and ran. Well, I was away, dude. I really was, you know. And then I was hiding in these woods, and then fucking all I heard was, "There he is!" And you know, I
Right.
took off running, and I
Do you
jumped
have the
into
dogs coming after
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Oh,
it was
dogs
bad. Yeah,
too. Yeah.
And I jumped into this creek. My shoes had came off. I was running so fast
Right.
at that point. You know, my shoes came off. I jumped into this creek, and I shattered my heel. It was a compound shatter.
Okay.
Bones were all over the rocks and everything. It was bad.
okay.
They had to like care flight me off because it was in the middle of a field. They couldn't even
Oh,
get out
wow.
there.
Yeah.
So that was my introduction into opiates, right?
Okay.
They had put me on the Dilaudid drip right off the bat. And then they weaned me off that to morphine. And then from that, it was to hydrocodones. You know, and then whenever that prescription ran out after the surgery and everything, the logical next step was to go to heroin.
Right.
You know, it's because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, and it's readily available. You know, and you know, so at that point, you know,
There's no doctor visits for heroin.
yeah,
you
none
know?
of that.
Right.
None. You know, and that was, you know, the beginning of the end for me, dude.
Yeah. So okay. So when are you still doing the meth?
Yeah.
Are you still taking the crystal meth?
Yeah.
While you're doing heroin as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
So
like-
it's just a little. It's become a drug charcuterie charcuterie board.
Is it charcuterie or charcuterie?
Yeah. Whatever.
Shark,
you know.
shark coochie.
Yeah,
There you go.
charcuterie.
Yeah,
Shark,
yeah, yeah.
Shark cooch.
Charcuterie. Yeah.
It's a charcuterie board.
Yeah. But so basically, you're taking just kind of whatever's there, but your flavor of the month is heroin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, I was still like, I started playing shows again, and like, you know, nobody really knew that I was a heroin addict at that point.
Right.
Like I kept that behind closed doors. You know, nobody really knew. But I'm playing out at the Lizard Lounge. I'm playing out doing shows, and you know, and I was covering it up by like just drinking a lot. You know, but really I'd go to the bathroom and do a shot. You know. And nobody really knew. I didn't think they really did.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
But one person in particular did know. I came out the bathroom and he was like, one time he's like, "Are you all right, dude?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fucking all right. What the fuck do you think, man?"
Yeah.
You know, and
Right.
I ended up apologizing to him years
Right.
later about it. But yeah, dude. So rewind a little bit. So
Yeah.
whenever I was in high school, my mom, like, that's when she started getting sick, dude. You know,
And your mom is your rock.
mom's
and-
my
yeah,
rocks,
yeah,
is
yeah.
everything for me, dude.
Sure.
And that
Because
was
at this time, your dad's kind of MIA.
yeah,
correct?
he's in my
From like the time you were 6, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
He started coming back around in my teenage
Sure.
years, but just like
Yeah.
you know, not you know, in my life. He
I
was
got
just comes
you.
around.
Yeah,
he'd come
yeah,
by
yeah.
and stop
Just
by and stuff.
peripheral. Yeah.
So that's when she started getting sick, and so I had my own like area to chill at the house because my mom would be in the hospital a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
but I took her for granted so much, dude. Like, it's one of my biggest regrets, dude, is taking my mom for granted, dude. For real. Fast forward a little bit more, I couldn't stop doing heroin, dude, and there was a lot of times where like I would go to Florida just to get clean sober, dude, and no, for real.
Hold on, I gotta laugh. I'd go that, dude. Go to Florida to get clean.
Yeah, well, I had a buddy out there that would let me come out there and stay. So
now that's funny, right there.
Well, I'd go stay at a friend's house, and he'd let me like couch on his shit, and
surf
sleep.
On his couch.
Yeah, surf on his couch.
Let you kick it on the couch, literally kick it.
Surfcouching.com. And then I'd always find a way to come back home, and they'd want me to stay out there and chill, and get clean, but I'd always find a way to come home, and get high, dude, and And every time, it was what we call the great lie. That's what you were kind of talking about before.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I can do a little bit. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
It'll
be,
It'll
nobody will know.
Yeah. And then it just goes right back into that physical, because I'm just doing a little bit at a time, and I'm just doing a little bit, and then it just turns into that physical.
Instantly, mental obsession kicks in, and it's all I can think about 24/7, 100% of the time.
Right. Well, dude, so started getting back into the same shit I was before. I'm doing all these shows, but I'm playing shows out. I'm doing, a lot of stuff like recording music, doing all this stuff, but my life is spiraling downward, dude, and I am fucking deep into it, dude.
Now, are you back like from one of your attempts to get clean in Florida?
Right.
And then you're back with your mom, and
right,
your mom's health is failing.
And my mom's health is going down, dude.
Sure.
And there was points where she had like liquid hydrocodone. And I would, dude. And she needed it, man. And there was times where I would just go in there. But you would
borrow a little bit?
Yeah, I'd borrow the whole bottle, dude.
Oh, jeez.
I'd go in there, I'd pour some into a bottle, and then there'd be like this much left, and I'd fucking go fill it up with water, bro. You know what I mean? And she'd need it, and then she'd drink it, and then she would still
That's pretty hardcore, man.
Yeah, no, it was shitty,
I mean,
man.
And not to...
it was
not
shitty.
to point out what a piece of shit
dude,
you are, but dude,
no.
That is pretty fucking hard.
No, absolutely.
That's where it takes you, man.
Yeah.
I stole medicine from my grandmother all the time. She got hydrocodones for her back and for her eyes and for all this shit. And I would go and like you've done and put water in it. I've gone to the grocery store and found something that looks so identical to a fucking hydrocodone that her being naive and not knowing anything, she wouldn't know, and she's popping fucking Imodium pills or whatever the fuck it be, and I've got all her hydrocodones in my pocket.
All right,
you know what I'm saying? Like a little line on the pill. So
yeah,
it looks like
I'm like over here trying to mastermind some shit just to steal some pills from my grandma.
Yeah,
it's the shit we do.
But I mean that because the whole time, even though you're still doing it and feeding that addiction, you've got to be feeling like a piece of shit, physically, and then there's that part of good Jeff that's in there going, man, dude, really? I just did that, So,
dude, it wasn't just hydrocodones. It was, heirlooms like rings of my grandma's rings.
Oh,
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, all
dude.
kinds of shady stuff.
Tablets, all kinds of stuff. I remember my mom just freaking out about her tablet. Like, where's my tablet, Jeff? And I'm like, I don't know. Where'd you put it? And she really didn't even know how to use a fucking tablet.
Right.
She just wanted her tablet, dude.
Sure.
Fast forward a little bit more. I got caught breaking into another house.
Okay.
Sure. So I get arrested. I go to jail. My mom, I talked to her on the phone. She leaves me in there for about 3-4 months, and I talked to her on the phone, and she's like, Jeff, I need you out here. I need you to help me make some decisions. And I'm like, I was like, okay, yeah, get me out of jail. Get me out of jail.
Yeah, right.
Get me out of fucking jail. And I didn't realize what was going on, but she got me out, and I was clean at this point, I was sober. So I had,
3 months.
3-4 months. I wasn't,
unwillingly clean.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I had already had it set. I'm going to do good this time. I'm going to get out. I'm going to fucking do it. You know?
Yeah.
I told my dad, I was like, hey, whenever I get out, have like an ounce of weed waiting for me.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. So I get out, and, he has that ounce of weed, and he's like, here you go, bud. I'm like, all right. I looked over, and there was a meth pipe on the fucking table. And I'm like, say, dude, what's up with that meth pipe?
This is your dad.
Yeah, it's my fucking dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, like, are you sure? I'm like, let me see that fucking thing. He's like,
Yeah.
are you sure, bro? And I'm like, yeah, let me see that fucking
Are
thing.
you and your
Yeah.
dad's? Are you sure?
Yeah,
bro?
yeah. Because I had talked to him on the phone while I was
Yeah.
in there. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna do good this time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking smoke weed. This fucking
Right.
you
I'm
know?
just going to get
Yeah.
out and smoke weed, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
I love everybody that I hear that often. All I'm going to do is just smoke weed.
Yeah.
Because that works.
Yeah,
Is that
'cause-
Yeah,
California sober?
yeah,
Is that
California.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're on
California
that
sober,
Demi,
'cause
Demi,
that
we're
works.
on that Demi Lovato plan.
There you go. There
Yeah, I was
you
gonna do the Demi Lovato, but the second I saw that dope pipe, dude, I was like, let me see that fucking thing.
Yep,
Right.
give it to me
And,
now.
And you know, the first instant, like right when I hit it, I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck am I gonna go to sleep?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my first thought is, I gotta get a shot of dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one shot of dope, and I'm gonna go to sleep, and I'll wake up, and then I'll just fucking smoke weed and chill, and I'll be all right. You know what I mean? I walked all the way to my buddy Sean's house, dude. 3 miles down the fucking road, dude. And he don't even have any dope, dude. I washed his spoons out, bro.
Been
I washed
there.
all his spoons, got the cottons, and you know it was bad. And then the first shot I did, I felt
That's like
instantly-
just for people that don't use. That's like the equivalent of digging for cigarette butts, like
Yeah.
On the
off
ground,
the street.
like
yeah.
taking cigarette butts and getting a paper and like emptying
Yeah.
cigarette butts into a paper
mean,
to roll a cigarette.
It's playing Russian roulette.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't give a fuck. I did not even care, dude. I just need to get this high.
You
level
weren't on
the fuck
a
out.
you weren't on a clean needle plan either.
No.
Right.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
right?
Well, I hit that one shot, and you know, I felt instantly better. But I went back to smoking some more dope too. You know, and
Because the one thing I notice is you're always just trying to get right there in the pocket, dude.
Oh yeah,
or you're trying to get, like they say, there.
Yeah.
You know, but then it's
you'll
like,
you'll do
oh,
you'll do a little too much up, so you got to do a little too much down, and then you get too down, and you got to go back up, and
Dude,
you're
it's
trying to find that.
It's Elvis syndrome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, dude, like me and my buddy Sean were like the only ones out of all of our friends that did heroin. Like,
Right.
a lot of our
See, and
friends,
that's-
you know,
yeah.
like, and they all did speed, you know, and so like I'm just chilling. They're like, "Here, you want to hit this?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." You know what I mean?
Right.
But,
Right.
So and then I like, you know, and my friends that did speed, they cared about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They cared.
Until you fell asleep and they
Right.
took everything out of your
Took my shit,
pockets.
Yeah. Right.
But they were like, I mean, I would go get dope. They're like, "You gonna go get some dope for real? Some heroin?" That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm good. I'm not getting sick. I'm fine. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm doing this. You know." And then for about 2 weeks, I was doing that. I do like one shot a day. You know what I mean? So I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
not
Your
fucking,
maintenance plan.
I'm not. You know.
Right.
I'm not keeling over. I'm not.
I'm not
sick.
out there yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not out there. But then it turned into. And meanwhile, mind
Yeah.
you, my mom is in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Waiting on me to come and make these decisions with her. And
Right.
I'm in the back of my. I went and saw her twice.
Now
man.
these are like life decisions
Right,
you make
but I-
when somebody's in failing health.
Right. And I didn't realize what was going on. I was just worried about myself, dude, and getting high, dude. And that's it. you
Right,
know,
yeah.
Plain and simple.
kind of makes you selfish.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know,
it dictates what you are going to do on a daily basis and whether you give a shit about something else.
I mean, and
Right.
even when I went and saw her, dude, like really, like I had ulterior motives.
Oh
when I
yeah,
went and saw her. I'm like,
Maybe I can
oh,
get a pill or
yeah,
two or a
or,
little hydrocodone.
hey, so yeah,
drip,
she was
or-
at the nursing home right across the street from my house.
Well, that's
And
fertile
so-
ground, dude,
so
right
I'd-
there of
I'd be
all
like, oh.
kinds of.
I'd be like, dude, we
good
need
stuff.
some groceries at the house.
Yeah.
You know, or we need some cleaning stuff. So let me go to the store right quick. Let me borrow your card right quick.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I just go buy fucking get some money and get some dope or whatever.
Right.
You know. So yeah, I started doing the same shit I was doing before, dumbass shit. you know,
Right,
just
right.
Going and breaking into places, and I got caught again. You know. And
So
this,
we're at 3 times.
this
B,
is 3 times.
B and E.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got caught again. Just some dumbass shit, man.
Right,
Doing
right. Yeah,
stupid
yeah,
ass
no,
shit.
that's
you know.
okay.
I remember I was running from the cops this time, and I had some dope in the back of my dad's car in the trunk, and I remember running to it. I'm trying to get to that trunk.
Yeah.
So I can get that last shot. I know I'm going to fucking jail. They know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
You know, but I just needed to get that last shot, dude. And I almost fucking made it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And they tased me, and I go to jail.
Tase me.
They tased my ass,
Don't-
yeah.
Don't tase me, bro.
They
Yeah,
tased.
they probably thought you were digging in the trunk for like a gun or
I
something.
didn't,
Right, well,
no,
yeah,
I didn't
sure.
even get to the trunk.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I knew
okay.
that it was there. I was
Right,
like
right,
right
right.
around the corner from it. But that's where I was running, was to that trunk, so I
Sure.
could get that last little
There's
shot.
a junkie running to a trunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a taser is a good plan.
Yeah, they tased the fuck out
Okay.
of me.
All right.
So I go to jail, and like I don't know if any of y'all been to Lou Sterrett, but like in Lou Sterrett they have these phones, these free phones that you can like put your head up against
to the
phone.
wall.
Yeah.
Stupid shit.
So I called my mama, and she's like, Jeff, this is getting old, man. This is getting fucking old. And I'm like, look, Mom, I'm sorry. I promise, dude, if I can get out of this situation, I'm never going to use heroin again. And she goes, I surely hope so, son. And I didn't know it, but that was the last thing I ever heard from my mom, dude.
Yeah.
That was the last thing I heard. She died 9 days later.
Man, that's hardcore. Dude.
Yeah, and I was in jail, and I didn't find out. She died December 16th. I didn't find out till the 1st. Because my dad didn't have any money on his phone, so I didn't get to talk to him.
Right.
And
and your dad's outside actively using
right,
at this time as well.
Right, and he had one of those like government phones, so it wasn't like, he had to wait till there was money
to charge it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all are speaking a secret language, by the way. Okay, so your dad had a government phone.
So yeah, whenever I heard that, it was just I just kept replaying that in my head. I'll never use heroin again, Mom. I surely hope so. I surely hope so. I surely hope so. And it killed me, dude. Like, cause I just started thinking about it, and it was like, dude, my mom needed me fucking there to like, help her. What if I would have been there? Maybe this wouldn't have happened. Maybe I fucking broke her heart, dude. You know what I mean? And that was it for me, dude. And that's like I decided at that moment that was it. And I got in this I like put in a what's it called
I-60.
I-60, yeah, that's what they're called. An I-60 to yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
So I put in an I-60 to go into the like drug class thing,
Okay, so an I-60 to those that don't know.
I-60 is a note that you can write to get in contact with the police.
The powers that be. It's a kite, and you better let somebody else. And you better let somebody else read it before you send that shit off too.
Okay, so but it's something that you write to them. But what is the intention?
So I just put in like, hey, I need help.
Okay.
And
you're like surrendering to the police and saying, please.
Well, it's like you're in jail and like you say you need something. So he wanted to like obviously like go to like some sort of NA meeting or like some sort of like treatment program or whatever. And so that's how when you're an inmate you communicate with the powers, because you're not just gonna walk up to one of the guards. And
walk up to one of the guards and go, hey, dude, I need some help.
Well,
and
it's
then
for anything.
they're gonna go, oh yeah, come on.
Well, you can write I-60s for.
Come here, little buddy.
You can write I-60s for
because all
like
the guards are so friendly, right?
You want to go to the medical, you write I-60.
Yeah. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, you need some medicine or whatever.
Or some toilet paper or anything.
Paper, yeah.
Right. So,
so I got put in that class. They put me in there. And then I went to court, and they tried to give me 40 fucking years, man.
Wow.
Yeah, they tried to give me 40.
How many charges did you have that you were pending?
I had 6.
Okay. You don't have to go into each.
No.
But okay, I just wanted to know so that you had a potential of 40 years of incarceration.
Right.
So
and at this point,
basically the rest of your life. Almost,
at this point,
really.
I had just lost my best friend. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I was like.
Are we talking about your mom?
My mom, yeah, dude. Right. I didn't have any other friends, bro. Like I didn't have all the people that I thought were my friends just totally abandoned me. I wrote them a couple times, but I never got replies or nothing.
I gotcha.
And then all my other family members, like, they didn't fuck with me at all.
I got you. So anyway, so you're trying to get help while you're incarcerated. You start. Go ahead. You start doing.
I started doing the classes, and that's where the seed got planted in my head. I listened. I heard a couple things. These guys were coming in there, every day, and they had been there before.
Yeah.
His name was Sarge. I don't remember his first name, but his name was Sarge. I remember what he looks like and everything. And I was like, dang, this guy keeps coming in here every fucking day doing this, man. This is pretty cool,
Right.
I got sentenced, and I only got 10 years. So, I'm resigned to doing this whole 10 years is what I'm thinking in my head. And, going to prison, man, without having any family sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Just being down there.
No attachment to the outside whatsoever. And like pretty much mail. No hope.
Yeah.
It's hard enough even if you have support, like being like having no support whatsoever like that. I couldn't even imagine.
Right.
It's no mail, no phone calls, no commissary.
Right.
Nothing, dude.
Yeah.
I have an aunt out there that finally reached out to me, and she sent me $20 twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But she didn't know that like $20 is nothing in prison. I bought a radio and I bought a light with it, you know.
Cool.
So I got my parole. I missed my first parole. I got my second one. So I got sent to the IPTC, which is an in-prison therapeutic community.
Okay.
Good old like Safe P.
Yeah, it's like Safe P. It's pretty
Yeah.
much the same program, but it's a little bit different.
It's for people that are actually coming out of
Right.
prison.
Right.
Yeah.
They are going to be on parole and not on probation.
Yeah.
You know, it sucked, dude.
Right.
You know, most of the people in there are just doing what we call showgram.
Yeah.
You know,
So they're basically just doing it
faking
to,
it to make it
get,
to get
yeah,
out,
exactly. To get
But
out.
like, I had a really good counselor that like, really, hyped me up and and heard my story and was like, dude, I remember she told me one time, she's like, dude, you're going to be a great sponsor,
Right.
and I was like, all
Right.
right, cool, man. And I learned how to facilitate the NA and the AA classes. It's like you were talking about for the
Smart
recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that. And then I got out, man, and I got sent to the Abode Treatment Center
Okay.
in downtown, and that's wherever I was introduced to Oxford. Right. Somebody
Now
came
the
up-
Abode Treatment Center, is that a free?
Yeah,
like a homeward bound situation,
it's-
like a free rehab facility.
So when you go through the IPTC,
Yeah.
it's 6 months in prison, then it's 2 months aftercare, or
Okay.
2 months in the treatment center, and then it's 6 more months of aftercare.
Okay.
It's like a halfway house.
Yes,
Abode is
that's
like
exactly what it is.
Yeah,
It's a
Okay.
house.
Okay.
You can leave to go to work and stuff like that.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not really free because you got to pay them a certain amount of your paychecks to,
Right.
So,
okay. So it is like almost like an Oxford house, or
no, it's-
okay.
they're
So
dorms.
it's still state run.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of different ones. It's transitional. So you're coming out of prison, and,
Right.
sometimes they give you an option if you have an address to go to, you can skip the halfway house. But
Right.
most of the time, they like you to go there, and it's kind of like just to like reintegrate you into society a little bit, so it's not like just like throwing you off the boat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
'Cause
yeah,
you've been
yeah,
you've been locked up for years. You know what I'm saying, or
Right.
months, or whatever it is. And so instead of just being like, boop, get the fuck out,
Right.
they kind of like integrate you back in.
Right.
Usually the guys that go home straight out, they have to wear like an ankle monitor
And all that
and
shit.
it's like
yeah.
super intense, so it's
Like the stack program and
Yeah,
all that
exactly.
shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So when I was there, this dude told me about Oxford House, and because I didn't know where I was going to go, I didn't have people that were going to look out for me. I didn't know what was going to happen to me, and I'm so glad that I met this dude that turned me on to Oxford, man. Because, dude, if I wouldn't have gone into Oxford, dude, I would have gotten back out there on the streets. I'd probably be back in prison by now.
Yeah.
Right.
So I when interviewed at this house, I saw this one that had a zip code that was 75228, and it was right by where my grandma used to live. And I was like, oh, yeah. Probably not the smartest idea at
Right,
the time,
I know
but
that
I was
hood.
like, I know that fucking
Yeah,
hood,
yeah. Sure.
But
No, okay.
I met some good guys in the house, and it was probably the best thing that ever fucking happened to me. But I was that dude at my Oxford house that like in the meetings where you say like how many meetings you went to. I'm
Right.
lying about that every time.
Yeah.
That was me at the beginning because I would go to a couple meetings a week every once in a while, but at first I just wasn't feeling it, man.
Sure, of course. Hey, real
thought-
quick, just so you know, we have about 10 minutes, so I don't want to, but I want to get, okay, so you went to Oxford House, and then you probably did some struggling there with meetings and whatnot. But then, okay, so I want to know how, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's because you have like five years sobriety, or
Yeah,
what?
5 years and 7 months.
So and you got your start obviously incarcerated unwillingly,
Right.
but you also said something very important, that you wanted it. See, and that's the thing is we have to want it. And that's a big part of recovery for me, because I can't make somebody want to be recovered. I mean, you might think it's a good idea, but I can't make you be sober. You have to actually want it. And I think that's an important thing that you point out. But I also wanted to get to, you had we touched on this, I don't know, at one of our conversation in the parking lot about your dad, because I mean you got sober and you've been sober for 5 years, and Oxford House was a huge part of that,
Right.
and being active.
And that's where I was going with this whole
Right.
thing was while I was in Oxford, so when I went to prison, my dad became homeless.
Right.
They lost my mom's house, and he became homeless, and I never heard from him. He finally reached out to me, man. through Facebook, and he don't even really know how to use a phone or
Right.
whatever, but he found somebody to find me. He reached out. Me and my cousin went out to see him. He was living on the side of by some railroad tracks in a tent. And me and my cousin sat down with him, and we bought him some food, and then I was like, dude, I can get you into an Oxford house, man.
Right.
And, he's like, well, let me think about it. I was like, all right. He called me the next day, and he was like, yeah, I want to do it. So we started to GoFundMe. We raised him about $4,700 and got him into an Oxford house, paid for his first couple months rent, like right there.
Sure, yeah. And give that to the Oxford house, not to dad.
Yeah.
Right.
No, absolutely.
Cool. That's cool as shit.
Yeah. And so, and we got him new teeth. He had lost all his teeth. We got him new teeth.
That happens.
And now he's like, he's striving, dude.
Yeah.
He's re-entry chair of his chapter. He's doing things. He's got like 10 months sober right now. It's a pretty good deal, man. And I go eat with him every weekend.
Yeah.
We mended our fences.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, dude. We're like best friends again.
That's so fucking cool.
And after all the things that happened between us, I didn't get to get into all that stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that happened in our lives, dude, that, forgiveness, dude, and, he's my dad,
Yeah.
and so.
Well, and I mean, to be honest, I mean, that's because you're an only child. And I mean, that's the closest connection you have. I mean, because, it sucks, but, the whole mom thing, and you didn't really get to process that, how I guess a normal person would, or a sober person would. And now you're reconnecting with part of your past, and I think that's some strong medicine there that you and your dad are able to have probably the healthiest relationship you've ever had in your entire life with him, right?
No, absolutely, man. And he's my best friend, dude. I talk to him every single day, and going from never talk, like, I didn't think I was ever going to see him again.
Sure.
And now, like, I see him all the fucking time, and he's fucking, and he saw it worked for me. And now he's doing the same thing, and it's just amazing.
Oxford is dude, I wholeheartedly believe, just like you said, that Oxford was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Ever. Like, you tell yourself, like, oh, if I get a job and a girl and you get all these things. But we as addicts don't know how to do that shit, you know? And you move into an Oxford house and you pay a little bit of bills and you have some dudes around you. They're going to tell you, stop fucking pissing on the toilet seat, pick your dishes up. You're stupid and you're loud and I'm trying to sleep, and you start to learn things.
That it's not just you and your addiction.
Yeah.
That's front stage.
Yeah.
There's this thing called common courtesy.
Yeah.
And there's this other thing called responsibility.
Yeah, and that was a bitch for me. Responsibility's a bitch. But then you start to, and you ease into it, you stick your toe in a little bit, and then it gets a little bit easier, and it gets a little bit easier, and you start to realize, and I believe wholeheartedly, just like you said, Oxford was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
And now I am a member of the alumni. I've been out of Oxford for about 6 months. I moved into a house with a couple of guys that my sponsor suggested to me, and it's a good deal. And now I'm part of alumni, and now they're sending me to World.
Fucking right.
Yeah, fucking right.
Okay, so what is World?
World is the convention that we're having in Maryland.
Oh, nice.
Labor Day weekend.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit.
Labor Day, Memorial Day, I don't know the difference.
Yeah, I mean, how many would you get? How many Oxford houses would you guess there? Because, I mean, it's a worldwide organization, right?
In the Dallas area alone, there's like 75, 80 houses, something like that.
So, I mean, so it's just like, and if somebody wants to get in, I mean, they don't have to be, I mean, I'm sure y'all just have regular alcoholics show up too, 100%. Right? Yeah, I mean, there's not everybody's everybody's charcuterie board.
Well, you just have to identify as an addict or alcoholic, you know what I mean?
I got you. So how does somebody go about searching for that or finding it? Or
so they would just go oxfordhousevacancies.com.
Right. Okay.
And then they find a house that's, near them or,
where they want to be at. They're like, I had a buddy that lived at the house I was living at. He lived there for 8 months. He got enough clean time under his belt where he felt that he could go to Florida.
Now, that's a question I have. So do you have to have clean time before you enter an Oxford house?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay.
Well, some houses are different, man. Every house is ran on its own. So it's
a democratic thing.
Self-governed.
Right. So I mean, some houses do have that though, but
where you have to be clean for like 2 weeks, whatever. But we've taken in people that were. I mean, obviously, if you're like kicking or something, we want you to go to a detox and be medically assisted through that.
Yeah, you're not gonna nursemaid him back to health.
You know, as long as you're honest about it, you come in there and tell us what you have going on. You know, I mean, if you come in and be like, "Oh, I'm clean," and then you piss dirty, it's kind of like, all right, dude, well.
Right. Well, okay, and then some of the things. Okay, obviously Oxford House is a huge stepping stone for both of you guys. I mean, and then as far as aftercare and all that kind of stuff, I know I want to give the Fix a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which they're a great A organization, is what I like to call them. Because
it's a cornucopia of people.
And it's a cool group, and I can relate to them. But so you do that for your aftercare. What other kind of stuff are you doing?
So Sundays we do the number one offender meditation.
Right.
That's where I met you
and
at.
Do you do any HNI or
we do. So like the Fix, we just built it back up, man, because it was dwindling, and we just appointed elected members. So we got the HNI chair, and we have everything else. All the positions are filled now. Right. So our HNI chair is just now getting out there and finding new spots for us. So
I got you.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
And then I know that you are, as far as your recovery and current stuff, like as far as your maintenance, if you would, you kind of mentioned it, and I wanted to give a shout out because you're going to actually become a smart recovery facilitator. And get the Alliance group going, because there's obviously Skate Straight Dallas, and then there's Skate Straight Alliance, which is a skate park in Arlington, correct?
Yeah, so it's like Grand Prairie, Arlington, right by Lone Star Park, and so what we're trying to do is we're trying to expand this and get it to as many people as possible. I've been working closely with the godfather of Skate Straight.
Yeah.
Shout out Kurt.
Right.
I'm probably going to end up taking the facilitator class. I'm going to start running some meetings. We're trying to get the numbers up. But I also participate in the A groups.
The thing I like about it is, because a lot of people are, afraid of the A's.
Yeah.
And they kind of, think it's like a religion or cultish and it can be. I can see that. I can get that. But with the smart recovery, it's a little different vibe, and it's not so higher power driven necessarily. And all that kind of stuff, and it's CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and what was the other one? DBT,
dialectical behavioral therapy.
There you go.
You remembered it.
Yeah,
you did good. Look, dude,
all my shit.
You look smart. But I want to thank you guys. It is. It's the glasses and the hair.
The Ted Bundy glasses.
Those are David Koresh glasses.
Oh, okay.
He does have some David Koresh vibes right now going on.
David Koresh all the way.
Oh God.
But real quick, do you guys want to give any shout outs? I know you do.
So just
I want to give a shout out to Dinky and my boy.
Just the Fix Thursday night 7:30 at Simply Grace.
Okay.
It's a good CA group.
Yep.
And shout outs to Dopeless Society.
Yep.
That's a crew that I run with. That's we make shirts and gear and stuff too. So
okay. Cool. Yeah. And then you want to
of course we got to shout the fiance out,
yep.
Shelly.
Shelly, what's up?
Nice.
And then I just want to plug also, like I talked about it earlier, but this Vivitrol shot. I'm doing like
you want to plug Vivitrol?
Dude, no, I know it's weird, but I want people to be aware of it. It's like a newer thing, you know what I'm saying? And like my fiance's doing a study with it, and it's like the normal MAT programs and things like that. Some people have a really hard time with that because those things actually make you feel like you're getting high and things like that. And
right,
is an alternative to that.
Well, we can have a whole show about like Suboxone and methadone and all that kind of good stuff.
But and then of course, shout Skate Straight. Shout out Kelly. We appreciate you being here and doing this for everybody.
I appreciate y'all sharing and being transparent, because hopefully the end goal is to hopefully inspire somebody. And if we do, then we're doing our job, man. We're being better people, and just inspiring hope is what the show's all about. And obviously, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor again. That is Summer Sky right here, summersky.us, and that is 888-857-8857. Yeah, other than that, be sure and be sure and comment, like, and share all this stuff, because without that, then the word doesn't get out there. If you just watch this and you get something from it, let us know, because, it's good to hear feedback, and, it's always good to hear success, or like that, you inspired somebody. I mean, it's a good feeling. So I appreciate you guys for coming out. Obviously, I'm not going to go through the shirts again, but they are available at djkellyreverb.com, and that's /shop. And other than that, thank you guys for making the time. I think we're going to have you back next week, and then Mr. Josh W. Jordan.
Oh, dang.
Josh W. Jordan from Brazos Recovery. You'll like him.
Okay,
He's a
yeah,
good
I don't
dude,
think I
dude.
met him.
No, he's pretty awesome, man.
You will.
Okay.
Hey,
sweet.
you got to stay clean, though.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
Right.
I'm there.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm back on the wagon.
Right, I like it, dude. I like it, and
I mean,
I'm
you got
proud.
to give me
Hey,
your number.
and
I'll get it, yeah.
and I'm proud of you.
Thank
by the
you.
way, I am proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it takes a lot to come out and admit this, and be transparent.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
You're a stud, dude.
It helps me. It might help someone else, but it helps me as well, talking about it and
Yeah.
putting it out there and being, because it's so much easier to hide shit and not talk about it, but then
True.
it gets worse.
True.
So
Well, Brett, I believe that is going to do it for this week, and I appreciate you guys coming out. And then, kids, remember, there is no magic pill for sobriety, because if there was, we would all take too many.